Oh man, Fat Joe, you can't be calling them hoes dusty bitches.
No, what? Brennan, what are you doing?
Oh man, I'm just watching the recap of the Fat Joe Ja Rule battle. Fat Joe,
I didn't know they battled.
Fat Joe called Ja Rule's, whoever had Ja Rule hadn't even brought anybody on stage, but he said, man, you had to do something with them dusty bitches you had on stage. Calling people dusty bitches, I don't think that's not gonna fly with
good, Fat Joe.
all the people that you working with now that you get in the bag with.
However, speaking of dusty bitches,
you know some dusty bitches?
I know one who lost a major election yesterday.
Oh man, let's talk about it. How are we related? Season 2, episode 2. This is the Dub Duce episode.
Right, begins now. So I just kind of want to start. Shout out to California. They tried to recall the Democratic governor in that state. On this past week, they had an election.
So wait a minute. Yeah. I don't. I stay Sports Center, maybe
right,
boxed in.
I'm aware.
On the web.
I'm aware.
And I got my sites that I get my music from, but nobody was telling about what is a governor recall? So a governor, I know, gets voted in. Mm-hmm. So a bunch of people can come and recall that vote that the whole state did?
Yeah, well, there's like 19 states, I think, in the United States that will allow you to recall your governor, I guess, if you're not happy with him. California just happens to be one of those states that allows you to do that.
From last week's episode, who is the governor of Indiana?
I got it right last week.
Starts with an H.
Holcomb.
Yeah, Holcomb.
There you go.
Is Indiana one of these states?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I will find out, though.
Governor Holcomb, I'm coming for you.
No, I don't think there's anything wrong with him.
He's good. He's good. I just want to get him nervous.
He's all right. Don't get him nervous. Anyway, so for no reason at all, you can recall the governor in California. Mm-hmm. You need nothing but signatures. You need 12%, I think, of the number of voters in the past election to say, we want to recall the governor. They sign a petition. Boom. The whole state has to spend a whole bunch of money on another election for the state's governor.
So since I've never heard of this and it's making news, I am going to guesstimate with my conspiracy theories. Let me add 2 plus 2. Since I've never heard of this, and it's making the news, so 2 plus 2 is going to equal 4. Is that governor black?
No. He is a Democrat, though.
He's a Democrat.
And the Republican, so there was like 50-some people who were trying to get his job. Caitlyn Jenner was one of them. Yeah.
Did Arnold Schwarzenegger try to come back?
Arnold Schwarzenegger is how I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, I believe he is the reason why he was the governor. When he became the governor of California, was through a recall.
So he recalled Schwarzenegger to become the governor.
No.
Oh, okay.
Schwarzenegger was the governor back in the early 2000s.
Yeah, I was going to say, you could only be governor for what, 8 years?
Yeah. I'll have to look that up.
I'll have to look that up.
We got a lot of information we need to look up. You can look that up while I'm talking. Anyway, so this Larry Elder guy, he became the front runner of this California recall, right? Basically, he was Trump times 1,000, but he was black. So he made a whole bunch of controversial statements. The most outrageous being that, as far as reparations, slave owners needed to receive reparations first because they had a loss of property.
Oh, he was on that Abraham Lincoln type stuff.
Yeah, he was on some crazy, stupid stuff.
You know, Abraham Lincoln, when he did the thing to free the slaves, he made sure that the slave owners got their reparations for the lost wages of the slaves.
Yeah, I did not know that, but now that I do know that, he's not so much Honest Abe to me anymore.
The governor is not eligible to serve more than 8 years.
Oh, you were right.
In any 12-year period.
Bro.
In any 12-year period.
Oh, okay.
So Schwarzenegger can come back.
He could.
I'll be back.
Schwarzenegger could come back.
I doubt
he wants to.
He'll be like 90.
He had his own issues afterwards anyway.
I didn't really hear much of California when he was governor. I knew they went through some droughts. I don't know.
Some drought.
It was real dry.
It was dry. Therefore, there's a lot of fires in California.
Yeah, there were fires.
There still is a lot of fires.
And Kanye moved out there during his term, so I don't know.
Yeah, maybe that's what happened in California.
Maybe. Hey.
Maybe that's what happened in California.
So what's going to happen with this guy? Is he's going to get recalled?
So no, they had the election on Tuesday, and he lost. So the governor of California is yet the governor of California. So California spent a whole bunch of money on nothing.
So can you recall the vote? Like, do you get like a certain time period? Like, does it have to be like right after the election or 6 months after the election? Because it was only 6 months.
I don't know. There's another election next year. So California's going to have to go through this next year as well. I don't know how much time you have. You're asking me a lot of questions. So I don't know if Newsom, he's going to run again, which I assume he will because he survived a recall. But they're going to have to go through this all over again, another gubernatorial election, and California. People are leaving California. It's weird.
Do you know where they're going?
I do have a friend, Gavin Weber.
Yeah.
He just moved from California to Florida.
That was our neighbor.
No, Gavin Weber from high school.
Yes, he lived in the
He
neighborhood
did live
next
in the
to
neighborhood. I forgot he lived in our neighborhood.
He wasn't our next door neighbor, but he
wasn't our neighbor, but he did live in our neighborhood.
He lived next, like in the Bonds neighborhood area.
Yeah. So there's lots of people who are moving out of the state of California for whatever reasons. A lot of them are for reasons as far as the vaccination and, stuff like that. But I don't know. Another thing that's going down this week, I don't know if you heard about USA Gymnastics.
I don't know about USA Gymnastics, but I did see Dominique Dawes and her children. Yeah, she has a bunch of children.
Dominique Dawes? Okay.
First off, respect.
I know.
I was gonna say
she had nothing to do with this conversation. But
you said USA Gymnastics.
I did. You're correct.
So,
I stand corrected. You're right.
If you say USA Gymnastics, okay. I will work
That's
Dominique
where you
Dawes.
Automatically go.
I will work Dominique Dawes. I don't care if you're talking whoever this current person is.
Brennan has a mild obsession with Dominique Dawes.
It's not a mild obsession. It's just Dominique Dawes was the object of my affection when I was growing up. She had that short haircut, that Jackie Reed kind of short haircut.
She's a little bow-legged.
Yeah, a little, whatever. Okay. You're gonna stop putting respect on.
I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I'm just
respect the bow-leg community. All right. She could do all kind of flips. But anyways, she's married now. She's got a bunch of kids, and she's still going at that doctor. That
so that's what this does have something to do with
that touched a bunch Larry Nassar. So she was on. I saw her on Facebook because I follow her on Facebook, and she was with her kids, and they were just like had some signs. I really couldn't see what the signs were, but it says, and the caption was, Dominique Dawes is still fighting against the trainer guy that.
Well, he's in jail now. He got I think he's pretty much in jail for life. He got like 100 and some years for touching.
Good.
I don't know how many girls that he did. However, so they went to they had a hearing this week at the Capitol, and it was 4 gymnasts. Simone Biles was included in that. So they went and testified about their experiences when they were interviewed by the FBI and the investigation that went on leading up to the arrest of Larry Nassar. Basically, they were not treated fairly. They were treated as if they were not the victims. They were treated as if they were not believed. Ironically, the FBI field department that interviewed them, guess where they were?
Where?
Indianapolis, Indiana.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah. So, anyway, so they went to the Capitol yesterday, and they had a hearing, and they were able to express their feelings to a whole bunch of senators who really expressed how they were sorry for what happened to them, and they were going to further the investigation or even reopen the investigation to see why they were treated this way when they were interviewed. I think one of the FBI investigators was allowed to retire And then one was fired like yesterday.
Oh.
So this happened a while ago, and all this stuff is coming out. And they're like, oh, yeah, we got to make sure we fire this guy.
So they're trying to clean house now.
Basically.
Oh, okay.
But, I mean, those girls, they stood up there. They were pretty brave. They're pretty brave, and they're kind of mad and not taking it anymore. So good for them.
Yeah.
Good for them.
That is good for them. That's a horrible thing that they had to deal with, and
Yeah.
it's like you always want to believe that you're putting your kids, you're leaving your kids in trustworthy hands, but it's like now you can't trust nobody, man. You can't even trust the mailman out here. You
Can't trust anyone.
Yeah.
And I think like included in that suit was USA Gymnastics, the U.S. Olympic Committee, the U.S. Paralympic Committee. It was a whole bunch of adults who were responsible for them that completely failed them. So that kind of sucks for them. But hopefully they'll get their due justice, just like Brittney Spears is getting her due justice.
We're back on Brittney Spears.
So listen, a lot has happened since we last talked.
Wait. So maybe I just don't know. You went from George Michaels and then Michael Jordan and now Brittney Spears.
Listen,
like, when did you start? Like, give me a history.
I've always rooted for Brittney because I feel like she has been misunderstood for a very long time. So now, I think it really, when she started like running around LA, cutting her hair, throwing bats, I was like, something's going on and somebody needs to take care of her, protect Brittney. Didn't seem like anybody was. She got into that conservatorship, she got pregnant. Like a couple times she married
a backup
the background dancer. Like just a whole bunch of stuff was going on. But then now, my thing is Brittney's like 40 years old.
Mm-hmm.
She should not be having to ask somebody for anything every second of the day. Like she has to ask if she can leave her house. She has to ask if she can go to the doctor. She has to ask if she can have friends over.
She told us she was toxic.
Well, I don't think it is. I don't think it was her that was toxic. I think it was the people that were around her. Anyway, a couple things have happened.
Mm-hmm.
She got engaged.
Okay.
And
how many does she
ring is gorgeous.
But wait, is she at J-Lo's level or is she
this is her third?
Okay, she's
remember that little thing she did in Vegas?
Oh yeah, that didn't count.
That doesn't count? Okay.
No.
So we'll say it's her second. However, it's her third. So anyway, she's married this guy that she's engaged to, very handsome gentleman, but he was also like a dancer in one of her videos. That's how she met him. Anyway, they've been together for a really long time. They are now engaged. Her ring is very pretty. Also, her dad signed not a petition, but he filed documents to let go of the conservatorship.
Okay.
So hopefully that happens for her, and she can continue to live her life the way that a 40-year-old woman should. Because she should not be under the restraints that she's under, unless she's like really mentally ill, which we don't really know everything that's going on with Brittney. However, she's 40 years old, and if she wants to make mistakes, let her be allowed to make mistakes. I don't see what the big deal is.
I mean, she has kids out here, so she doesn't really need to be making that many mistakes.
Well, you have kids.
I mean, but I'm not in the public eye.
That's true.
I don't have my mistakes are going to be like, oh, we're going to go to McDonald's instead of cooking. Like, she could go and have an effect on she could go she could be like, oh, you guys want to have fun today? Let's go shut Disney World down. And then now that affects everybody because she just paid for Disney World for her 3 kids. But
she do it all the time.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like, it sucks for the people like, oh, I was depending on going to Disney World today. I had a pass to go. But now Brittney Spears it's inconvenience. That's just the little inconvenience. Or maybe she might want to throw a big party and she buys all the alcohol out in LA. And now people can't get drunk in LA unless they go to her party.
What?
Anything could happen.
Well, I don't think the problem with that is that people can't get drunk in LA. The problem with that is that she might be spending all of her money.
Right. On stupid stuff.
Which, she made the money. I didn't see her dad up there dancing, going on tour, singing. So, whatevs.
In reverse, somebody who lost their parents and his spending a lot of money. Did you know Kanye was spending over $1 million to do that Donda live stream? And you had the audacity to tell me that you didn't even listen to the album, but listened to Drake's album and thought it was a good album?
Now listen, it's not that I didn't listen to Kanye's album. I skimmed. Because I can only listen to so much of him. You know that. You know that me and Kanye are just I just can't.
Was it Black Slavery Was a Choice? Was that when it?
Maybe.
Was it dating Amber Rose after dating that Delta girl?
The Amber Rose days.
Because he dated that Delta girl, and then he was all so pro-black, and then he started dating Amber Rose.
I didn't mind the Amber Rose days. I think it might have been the Slavery Was a Choice comment, but also I haven't really liked anything that he's done since College Dropout, which was his only
first
album
CD
that I ever liked.
What, the graduate, College Dropout, Graduation, Late Registration, Life of Pablo, and 808 Heartbreaks, all classics.
808 Heartbreaks. I thought that was weird.
808 Heartbreaks was weird, but it's set the sound for what we hear to this day. Mm-hmm. So it's like how Dr. Dre had The Chronic, and how The Chronic in '92 set the sound for what we heard up until 808 and Heartbreaks.
Hey, it just wasn't my vibe.
I feel you.
I did like the Drake album better. I could listen to it. I didn't have to skim over it and be like, oh, I hate this song.
The only thing I don't like about Drake is
yeah, I don't like that either.
But then he starts rapping. I was like, oh, I can feel that. And then he goes, like, somebody else in Toronto can sing your hooks.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to sing every hook.
Yeah.
Like,
true.
We get you can sing. We get you're trying to, people think that you can sing better than Trey Songz. I don't.
Oh, I don't.
But still, I think that I liked it when The Weeknd was singing his hooks, and then The Weeknd blew up, and he was like, I ain't singing hooks for this dude no more. I'm The Weeknd.
How do you think he got Jay-Z? Why do you think Jay-Z went on both albums?
Because he asked him, and Jay-Z is definitely going to get on the 2 hottest albums of the year to boost his own. But
he's done making music.
He's not done making music.
You don't think he's done?
No. He will continue every time Drake pops out with a CD, or somebody, say Rick Ross gets a little bit more popular, he'll jump on. He'll jump on anybody that's popping. Like, you won't see him on.
So do you think we're gonna get an album? You think we're
gonna probably get a Jay-Z Kanye album before we get a Jay-Z album?
Jay-Z Kanye album?
Yeah,
why?
we're probably gonna, because he says, look up. If you listen to the,
I listened to it. I heard it. I was disappointed.
You didn't like that? Guess who's going to jail tonight?
But no, I just don't want him to. I just don't want him to make another album with Kanye.
Jay-Z, 444 to me was the graduation from Reasonable Doubt. Reasonable Doubt, he was telling young kids how to basically move and hustle. With 444, he was like, all right, I taught you how to move and hustle on the streets. Now I'm going to teach you how to move and hustle in the real world. And so it's like the maturation of Jay-Z from Reasonable Doubt to 444. If he does not put out another album, I feel like he's grown.
What is today?
Today is
September 16th, 2021.
Yeah.
You guys, never in my life have I heard Brennan say anything super positive about Jay-Z. And I would like to stamp this and notarize it, because he never talks positively about Jay-Z.
Because Jay-Z is a culture vulture.
See, here we go. It didn't last long.
Jay-Z steals styles. Jay-Z steals styles.
I thought that we had turned a corner.
Well, because that's what he does. Like, you said he's going to put out more music. Yes, he will put out more music because there are still hot people, and he still feels like he is hotter than them. So if he can, all he has to do is jump on Drake's track to remind everybody, oh, yeah, Jay-Z is still hotter than Drake on Drake's CD. Like, Drake could have rewritten his own verses, but he whatever, he put it out, and to me, Jay-Z's verse was hotter than Drake's.
The hottest verse was one that wasn't even released on either album.
Oh.
Was the 3 Stacks verse.
Man.
And I just don't understand why Kanye just left that off.
Let me break it down to you.
Oh.
Let it be broke.
How do you know this?
So, I know that because I tagged you and I was like, you know, hey,
Oh yeah.
imagine a world where Kanye had a song with Andre 3000 that didn't make the Donda album, but Drake leaked it. Drake leaked it because he was talking real spicy on that Certified Lover Boy, and we'll get into that. But he had to let Kanye know, it's like, this is the reason I'm talking spicy, because I heard this track and I heard, you know, you took the chance of, like, you could have really made, you know, that's what Drake does. I'll take a feature with Rick Ross or somebody and then diss you on that song, and then it gets played on the radio.
But there's got to be a reason why Kanye didn't put it out. So
because Andre 3000 didn't know about that, and then he was like, that is not the verse that I heard when I laid my verse. So
he flipped it on him.
So when he probably, Andre heard the verse, the official verse, he was like, I don't want to be a part of that. He was like, okay. I don't want to have, you know, beef. I don't want to be on a track where you're dissing Drake on GD. I knew he was affiliated, but when you say I put that on GD, like Gangster Disciple, that meant that you are with them, and then you could put it on them, and if you're lying, you could get violated. So it's like, you're now claiming,
no idea what all that means.
That means he's claiming that he is a Gangster Disciple.
Who?
Kanye.
Oh.
The Gangster Disciples started in the South Side of Chicago. Larry Hoover.
Kanye's in a gang now?
Listen. Larry Hoover.
Yeah, that was another. I'm sorry, I keep interrupting you. So there's a whole thing with Larry Hoover's son.
Yeah, so Larry Hoover started the Gangster Disciples. You got to YouTube gang culture and Chicago. But anyways, Larry Hoover is the most prolific one from the Chicago area.
And he's in jail, or
Larry Hoover is in jail because he started Gangster Disciples, and I always give him the credit. Like, you hear about a bunch of gangsters that sold drugs, and that's how they got their raised to fame. They did violent things and whatever. But Larry Hoover's whole thing was, you can't sell your drugs on my block without paying my disciples. So you can do whatever you want on these blocks, but I own these blocks. So you can't sell a nickel bag without me getting $1 out of it. And so it's like, it wasn't about crime. It wasn't about the drugs. It was about the control that he had, because he had so many Gangster Disciples on so many streets of the South Side that they had it on lock. So basically their presence was so strong and his influence was so strong that once they caught him on something, he went to jail and then started making moves from inside the jail, and then they gave him 3 life sentences.
Oh no.
So Kanye,
3?
yeah. So Kanye went.
Did he kill anybody?
You don't make millions of dollars per day and not have to put hits on people. Like, that's not reality. Like, somebody is going to be mad that you're in the spot, and then you're going to recognize that somebody's going to say, hey, basically, if you're making that kind of money, yes, you probably maybe have had something to do with some type of murders. Anyways, Kanye went to.
If you're out there.
Kanye went
this
up
is
to.
Not me. This is Brennan talking.
Kanye went
I don't
up
know
to
anything about anything.
The president of the United States at the time, 45, that your man, and he basically gave the whole spiel of how he wanted to free Larry Hoover, and he basically talked about the sentencing and what he did to Trump, and Trump didn't really do anything about it, but he heard him out. And so that's why Larry Hoover's son speaks on that. It says, hey, you were the only person to ever go up to the White House and say, free my father. So,
because if he's killed people allegedly, likely he may not need to be free.
But he's in jail on like 70 some years old now. He's not making moves. No, he's not doing it. He might, but I'm just saying, he's given his word. His son is giving his word. So that's what his son was saying. He's like, if my father was going to come out and be on some BS, I wouldn't have written it with him. That's what he's saying on the album. He's basically making a plea on the album, because it's like he knows that Kanye's album is going to get listened to. So it's like, this is the best way for me to get this message out to everybody. Another person who did that, let's switch gears, Lil Durk. Lil Durk.
Who's Lil Durk?
Lil Durk is a rapper, and he dates this woman named India. I don't know. She's an influencer. I don't know where she comes from. But her name is India. India has this business that Lil Durk paid for, basically, called India Cosmetics. Lil Durk was on that song Laugh Now Cry Later with Drake. So then he got another placement on a song with Drake, the new Certified Lover Boy. He maybe got 45 seconds on the song. He took time out to shout out India Cosmetics and said, I know Drake album gets a lot of streams, so shout out to India Cosmetics. That's my girl. That's her business. Shout out India Cosmetics. And then rapped up about some other stuff. And then people were like, Lil Durk is a real one. It's like, imagine if Kyle got on an album or got on TV, news, and it's like, hey, Kyle, tell me about your business. And it's like, first off, I want to shout out my wife's business. And it's like, dang, that's tight. So I want to shout out Baskin Babes, my wife's business. My wife's business, her picnic business. I want to shout out Brett's Austin Trucking.
B.
Austin Trucking. So, shout out to them, Black women entrepreneurs. They deserve shout outs.
Doing it big.
So, if anybody streaming, listening to this, look into B. Austin Trucking, look into Baskin Babes picnics. And that's all I have to say about Kanye's and Drake.
I had to wake up from all that.
But I do have one more thing.
Lord.
So just imagine this conspiracy. So imagine if we all, just imagine in a world where it's known to certain people that Drake and Kim Kardashian messed around while she was married with Kanye. Mm-hmm. And so then I listened to the song "Pipe Down" by Drake on
the new album.
On the new album.
Okay.
And so if you think if you let yourself believe that they did have an affair, and Drake is trying to really just spare the relationship between Kanye and Kim because he doesn't want to come out and be like, your wife chose me. Like, hey, don't get mad at me because you were upset with your wife and then she slid with me. And so I was looking at some of the lyrics, and then he in the Pipe Down, he was just like, if you wrote a book, the rights would be a tell some, not a tell all. You'll make sure that you're well off, and you would sell all rights. It's like, if she ever comes out with a book, it's like she would make sure, like in the Kardashian way, would be make sure that she's in the best light. Mm-hmm. So she wouldn't admit that she went out to Drake because they only live down the street. And like I always say, Drake said he crept down the block, made a right.
But that was before they were married, I thought.
Yeah, but I think that she was like, oh, this will piss Kanye off to the extreme factor. And then she says, why does your ex think we're beefing? Is that man all right? He can't even look me in the face. He fell off twice. Kanye fell off twice.
He fell off twice?
He fell off when he was talking about, oh, I'm poor, I can't afford anything, yeah. Boom, 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 boom. And then he was like, he fell off with the music. People were like, yo, that Yeezus album was like horrible. And mm-hmm. people were like, you fell off, and then he came back. So it's like,
but did he come back?
Not according to you. But he fell off, according to you.
You know who also fell off?
Who's that?
45.
Oh goodness. I heard he's
I'm so annoyed by this.
I heard he's boxing.
He's a president. He was the 45th president of the United States of America.
Don't you write a book after you become president?
And now, can he write?
Well, don't you have somebody write a book for you?
Now he's announcing boxing matches with Evander Holyfield, of all people.
So Evander Holyfield was boxing?
Yeah.
Wait, first off, this is a whole throwback. Wait, Evander Holyfield should not be in a boxing match.
Well, I think it was supposed to be somebody who got hurt. Who's the boxer who just got hurt? I don't remember his name. He's a
Mike
Latin
Tyson?
American guy.
Oh, your boy that got caught cross-dressing.
Huh?
Yeah, Oscar De La Hoya.
He got caught cross-dressing? Stressing.
You never see Google Oscar De La Hoya in a dress.
What?
Yeah, he's in a dress.
All right, live your life.
Yeah, it's wild out here.
Live your life. Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's what when he was fighting Money Mayweather, he was like, "Bro, I'm about to beat you back in that dress." So
shut up! I did not know about that. Oh.
So yeah, so did he do it? I mean, Snoop did a good job when he did announcing.
I did not listen to it, obviously, but I don't think the fight lasted that long.
Oh.
I think.
Yeah, I didn't even stream that. I didn't look at it. I didn't know.
I don't think it lasted. And I hadn't heard anything about it, so maybe it even didn't happen. I don't know, but I know he was supposed to.
These celebrity boxing is real. I like it. People are like, "Oh, I heard it's hurting the game of boxing," but their undercards are really good fights in those. Watch that what's that boy, the Jake Paul boy?
Yeah.
The undercards on that fight, they were real boxers, and they were really good fights.
Good?
They actually were way better than the main event, because the main event is not real boxers. They're a UFC guy versus a YouTuber.
Right.
But the other undercards, they are actual boxers that are trying to make a name for themselves, and they're like, hey, if I knock somebody out on this undercard, I make a name for myself, and then I go into Showtime boxing, and then I can make it on, pay-per-view boxing. So,
good luck to them.
Yeah.
Good luck to them.
You know who else needs good luck?
Who's that?
Women in Texas.
Oh, man, Texas is tripping. Texas is really tripping. Let's recall that governor.
So yeah, I saw somebody say, so at 6 weeks, can I start collecting
right,
child support at 6 weeks? Can I child support? Can I put that man on child support at 6 weeks?
At 6 weeks, right?
I was like, ooh, that's a good question, because if that's a fetus, I
just have a whole bunch of issues with men telling women what to do with their bodies. I really, 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 really do. There will never be any argument that you can give me that says you have to do this, you cannot do this, you must do that. You will never be able to convince me that is ever a good idea.
Some of these Republican men are the same men that are like, you can't tell me to get vaccinated.
Yeah, right.
Wait. You can't tell me to get vaccinated, but you can tell a woman she has to keep a baby inside her that she did not want, regardless of the situation. That's messed up.
Now, I am not generally pro anybody and everybody, you'll go get abortion as a form of birth control. That's not me at all. But whatever your situation, if you feel that you can't handle it, you need to take that up with yourself and your savior. And I am not going to be here to judge you. And I don't think that anybody else has the right to do that either.
So if you eat hamburgers every day for 20 years straight, and you develop something in your stomach, like a growth in your stomach, you are allowed to go to the doctor and have that removed.
You're allowed to.
So
all of it.
Your legal right is, hey, I did this to myself. But you're saying that a woman who it takes two to tango, but you're saying you got to keep that. You got to hold that and carry it to term.
I'm in government. I know nothing about you or your situation, but I am making you alter your life for whatever reason because I said so.
Yeah, that's brazy.
That's crazy. That is just stupid. And I just don't get it. Did you watch any of the Met Galla?
Ooh, no, but I did see my girl Alicia get memed out.
Memed again.
Oh my goodness, she keeps on getting memed.
She did.
I did see the Kanye and Kim, because I saw her in the meme. They were like blacked out characters.
I saw Kim. I did not see Kanye though.
They looked out.
I didn't know he was there.
They looked like locked characters in Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
So
weird. This is weird.
Then I saw Fashion Week. I saw Russell Westbrook in a dress.
Yeah, he did. And you know what? I really love Russell Westbrook, but that skirt was doing nothing for him.
Yeah,
I did not like it.
It didn't. And Kid Cudi had some.
I expected it from Kid Cudi.
He had eyeliner
kind of his
on.
thing now. Yeah.
The best. Nobody will ever beat Billy Porter. With the shade.
He came through.
He came through, pulled the blinds down.
Yes.
I almost fainted. I said, you know what, bro? I was like, I don't dig fashion like that, but I got to give me one of those hats.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I used to be like, oh, I want some rims that are like shades so I can like act like I'm closing the blinds on my rims. I never thought of having a hat
Yeah.
that had, bro, I wouldn't even wear it until I wanted to throw shade at it. Like, you know I'm about to throw shade because I got my shade hat on. I got my shade. I'm throwing the blinds. I'm throwing the blinds on. Anybody talking reckless.
Right.
Instantly.
In a moment.
So what else is going on? Before we get into this, how are we related?
Well, the last thing I kind of wanted us to have some dialogue on was this situation about would you take $500,000 to have dinner with Jay-Z?
$500,000.
Me too.
I wouldn't even. It's not even a question.
Right.
So what it comes from? So there's a song where Memphis Bleak, Jay-Z is called "Coming of Age," and when they perform this song, Memphis Bleak, Jay-Z gives him a stack of $1,000, like it's like $1,000 in ones, I think. And when they perform this song, it's $1,000 in ones. Memphis Bleak, in the lines, he goes, a fee, I'll sit with you for free, and then when they do it live, he throws it out. So people are like, oh, Memphis Bleak knows being in Jay-Z's presence is worth more than $1,000. So that's why he says that in that song, because he's like, I'll grow with you and make way more than $1,000.
Right.
So $1,000, you can keep that 1,000 and just give me game. So time has progressed. Now the question is like, would you go and take a dinner with Jay-Z or $500,000? $500,000 could change a lot of people's lives.
Well, listen, and there's nothing that Jay-Z could tell me that I could not purchase information for with $1,000.
Yes.
All I have to do is at Jay-Z. Thank you, Jay. Appreciate you. But I can sit down with this tax accountant, or I could sit down with this financial planner and get all the information that you're about to give me. What I don't have that Jay-Z has is $1 billion.
Mm-hmm.
So he is able to do the things he does and accumulate the wealth that he has because he has money already. And he sat down with an accountant or a financial planner and said, here, I'm going to take all your money and this is what I'm going to do with it. Jay-Z didn't do that.
So that's what I'm saying. It's like, oh, Jay-Z, where did you get the money to get, to start up with all your... I sold heroin.
I sold drugs.
So, like, we know this. We
built an empire.
Out of apartment 4B.
Decided to become a rapper. Did not sign with anyone. I sold all of my own stuff out of my trunk.
Got it.
Kept all of my masters.
I was a label head.
Right.
So I paid myself with, like, I got the money from the label, then broke myself off a check. Mm-hmm. And then I collected the every time I put an album out, I got the advance. Then I paid myself back the advance.
Right.
So it's like, yeah, you could do that when he says, I came into the game 900 bands strong. So he came in the game with 900,000. So yes, if you sell drugs and you can come into the industry with 900,000 and you can rap your ass off, you can make it.
You can make
but
it.
If you can't do all those three things first, take the $500,000.
Because there's nothing Jay-Z is going to tell you. Except, he's extremely street smart, and I do appreciate that, and he does not mind sharing knowledge. He doesn't mind that at all, so great. However, you can get that from anybody. Mm-hmm. And I'll take the $500,000.
A man that sold suits in South Bend told me the most valuable commodity in this world is information.
Oh yeah. Oh.
And I was like, I believe that.
True.
So, yes, you can get a lot of information from Jay-Z, but if you just listen to his music, he tells you everything he does. So you don't need to have them. Like, the information is already out there. So
what am I going to do at dinner with Jay-Z? I like the guy, but I'm not going to pass up $500,000 to sit down.
There was a meme that said, waiter, can I get this to go? And then he said, you should have took the 500,000, and then he left.
Yeah.
So it's like, that could happen.
That could happen.
So let's go into how are we related. We got these people online. So they're saying, let's get light. Who do you got? Somebody says, who do you got? And they have a picture of Puff Daddy and Jermaine Dupri. Mm-hmm. Who would you have in a versus battle if they could play any song that they produced?
Puff Daddy.
You would get Puff Daddy?
I get Puff Daddy. And any Biggie song.
That's what Puff Daddy said. Puff Daddy said, I will beat you with Biggie and Mary, just alone.
Period, yeah.
But JD had Mariah Carey, Jagged Edge. That's what I'm saying. He's got that he's still got that R&B. Puffy has. Puffy's got 112. Puffy has every artist that JD could. So if JD comes with an R&B artist, Puffy's got that. A rap artist.
Who did JD have? Ja Rule?
No.
Oh no, he wasn't.
He had the Brat.
That's right. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say Ja Rule.
And another bad creation.
Yes. Oh yes. Yeah, he could.
Another bad creation.
Wow. So another one. A female asked, "What is on the other side of the bed when the man turns from holding you? What's over there?"
On the other side, his phone.
I said, "Peace."
Brittney.
I'm just saying, because say you're holding your woman that night and she's got hair or whatever, you're inhaling her hair and you're just trying to hold her and blah blah blah. And she's kicking you and you're jabbing you and you're just like, I'm just gonna turn over and just fall asleep.
Okay, I see.
It's not like
I get your point.
Yeah, it's not like peace. I don't want to be around you. It's like peace. Like I could actually go to sleep.
Point. Okay, that's a good one.
So it's like. Do girls really get offended when guys like turn over?
No, I don't, because I want peace too.
You want peace too,
right?
Oh man! So this last one says someone said when black people are on time, they're not staying long.
That's no lies detected.
I wouldn't even be mad if a white person wrote that. It was written by a black person, but if a white person or an Asian person wrote that, I'd be like. He's been around. He's been around a barbecue or two. Mm-hmm. He knows.
When we're on time, we're there to say our hellos and our goodbyes.
I'm here to show my face.
Right.
I'm here to speak to everybody.
I'm out.
And everybody that I'm related to, all right. Mm-hmm. People I don't know that just came with all the. I'ma holler at y'all the flip top. I don't got time for all that.
That's right. That is so true. And I think that there is definitely, I think that I have been, I've done that.
Oh, yeah.
A time or two. I'm generally not on time, though. I mean, I'm generally not late, is what I was going to say. I like to think that I'm an on-time person.
I fall for that. If I know I'm not going to be there for long, I try to get there on time or early because I want to be like, hey, I was there. It was like, but you probably showed up a little late. You missed me. But if I know I'm about to be up in there for a minute, I'm not going to get there early because I know I'm about to be up in there for a minute. So
Brennan comes and then he takes plates.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
And he's that guy.
I am nefarious for making my seconds first.
Me, right?
I'll go into your house, make a plate.
That is so true.
Put it in my car.
Yeah.
Come back in and make another plate and eat that plate.
Seconds first. He does do that.
Because I'm like, ooh, this macaroni is too good. Matter of fact, let me make my plate to go first.
Don't let there be a plate of macaroni and cheese.
Oh, yeah.
Because then there will be nobody else gets macaroni and cheese.
Oh, yeah. I'm hogging it and I'm not apologetic about it. I'm like, you know what it is.
Right.
You know what time it is.
Walks in the house, where's the macaroni and cheese?
Basically. Mm. So, and for my I felt that line, I had posted Drake's line, because Drake does have some good lines. And he says, and I'm back popping. I still remember that day I saw you. I was on your ass like back pockets.
Mm-hmm. I get it.
I said, I looked at my wife and I said, I felt that. I was on your ass like back pockets as soon as I saw you. Mm. So I felt that. Mm. You still need to come with a line that you feel.
The one that comes to my mind is an old Andre 3000 line. Mm. It's old. That made everybody start thinking and looking down.
What was that?
YKK on your zipper.
I thought he was going to say, what do you want to be when you get old? I said, alive.
No, do you remember when he said
YKK
that?
On your zipper.
I was just like, YKK is on my zipper.
It is. I never know what that meant, but YKK is on your zipper.
I don't know what it means, but it was a part of his line. I'm looking down. All of my zippers have YKK on them.
So... my next episode, I need you to know what YKK
I think it's just the brand
the
of
YKK.
the brand of the zipper, but why? Why did he notice that and make us all look at our zippers? That's Andre 3000
That's
for you.
Andre 3K.
That's what he did.
Hey, his verse on the Life of the Party, if you guys have not heard that, just ask me about it and I'll send it to you, because you need to hear it, just because it needs to be heard. It is a great verse.
Yeah, it is.
So this is it. How Are We Related? Season 2, the Dub Duce episode.
The Dub Duce episode.
Season 2, episode 2 with Brennan J.
All right, Janelle, we'll see y'all next time.
I'm out.